Okay, we are live. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Shannon Procise here with the Business Acceleration Network and Media Magic. And I am hearing a replay. Sorry, let me mute that. Those of you that are watching us live on social media, I am super honored to introduce this incredible woman that is responsible for helping individuals and businesses attract more sales. As you guys know, as we're going into 2023, I don't know if you're like me, but I'm really assessing what worked, what didn't work, and overall, how do I have a greater impact, which leads to greater sales. So Connie Whitman, she is changing the sales game. She's a 3-time #1 international best-selling author. Wow. Including her book, ESP, oh wow, Easy Sales Process, 7 Steps to Sales Success, speaker and podcast host. Her inspired teaching, transformational tools, and content ensure that business owners and salespeople grow their revenue streams through enhanced communication skills. Thank you, Connie, for being here. Isn't that it? It's about communication, right?
Jen, I was going to say at the bottom line of everything we do, don't care what your job is, what your business is. If we're not communicating effectively, we're leaving money on the table, we're stalling our careers, whatever it might be.
Yes. And Connie, I had the honor of being on your podcast the other day. I want to give that a little plug because we had such a dynamic conversation. I want to reshare some of it, but I still want them to listen to your podcast. Will you share the podcast and how they could find that?
Yeah. So I have 2 podcasts. The one you were on is called Changing the Sales Game, same as my business. And we really get into the weeds, if you will, and talk about strategies for marketing, sales, communication, leadership skills, all of those things that really impact our business and our professional lives. I have a secondary one, which is called Enlightenment of Change, which is still business, but has a little bit of woo in it. So we all have a little woo in us. So that one is, they're all inspirational, but the Enlightenment of Change is super inspirational. But Changing the Sales Game is where they can find you and me together.
Awesome. Well, what I found really exciting about this conversation, and hopefully this can inspire some of the viewers today, is I brought up the concept of sequence and how a lot of people that I've worked with, I feel are sometimes they're needing that sales, they're needing support, but I feel often they're out of sequence because they may be hiring a social media expert, or they may be working on different aspects. But a lot of times there's individuals that 1 or 2 or 3 sales will allow them to really leverage and do what they're doing. Can you share a little bit about your where you see strategically people can work with you, or the sales comes into play?
So oftentimes, and you're 100% right, Shannon, I see it all the time as well. And the problem is we can't do everything at once. So let's throw that out there, right? We all think that, oh yeah, I could do 3,000 things. You can't. Okay. So that's number one. So pause and breathe. And I like how you started by saying new year, you're kind of looking at your strategic plan for the year as well. So I think people just need to pause and say, where am I and where am I trying to go? So where are you? That's the fact. That's reality. Where am I looking to go by the end of the year, by the end of the month, whatever time frame you're working from? And then you have this gap. So what are the priorities in that gap to get you to that goal? And what I find is people are trying to do too much in that gap. And then what happens, Shannon, right? Nothing changes. They don't move their needle. A month from now, 3 months from now, they're in the same place. So really, really be discerning on where you're spending your money and your time. And so Shannon and I, during the show, we spoke about which came first, right? The chicken or the egg. So you need to do the marketing because we need to get bodies in front of us for us to have those dynamic and very good conversations, right? Those good communication skills. But if I don't even have traffic coming in the door, why are you focusing on your sales communication? You should be working with marketing or social media or wherever your people are to get more leads into your pipeline. Once you have leads coming in, that's when you sit and focus on the sales. And I just want to comment one more thing. I wouldn't wait too long. As soon as you start getting people flowing in, even if it's just a couple of weeks, then I would focus on the sales conversation because you want to get your close ratios up to that 80%. So 8 out of 10 people you speak with, you should be making the sale if they're your ideal client. So now I could continue to spend money on marketing, social media ads, whatever it is for you, but now I have income coming in as well. But the first thing is you got to have the bodies to talk to before I'd worry about the sales conversation. So again, walk before you run.
Yeah. And one of the things that I think, Connie, is that we have the opportunity to step into events, activities, all kinds of ways. Like to me, I don't know about you, but I feel like I am overflowing with leads just from meeting people out and about. Do you consider those leads, or is that kind of a little different, more focused leads?
Well, let's put them into two camps, right? The leads that can convert to money now, not only are they your ideal client, right, but they're actually looking for your services. Yep. So 1% maybe of your whole population or orbit when you're speaking, your emails, social media, maybe 1% need you right now. But all of those other, like you and I, we network a lot. You never know 6 months from now, 8 months from now. So you kind of have to put in the legwork to build that pipeline of possible clients down the road. And the more, this is your zone of genius, the more visible we are, it builds that know, like, trust factor so fast that then people, by the time they are ready for us, whatever that means to you, you're at the top of the mind because they've seen you, they experienced you, they're following your email, they're following you on social media, they're listening to your podcast if you're a podcast host. And then when they're ready, you're the one that they'll choose. But yeah, you got to do the networking. You got to do the legwork.
So I'm going to ask a couple questions, but I just wanted to highlight one of the things that we do at Media Magic, and why I'm so excited you're there, is I found that our language it's a faucet. Either you're magnetic, repulsive, or you're neutral. And so if you're, we've worked with individuals that they have the best product, the best services, the best team, but they're not getting clients, right? They're not converting. We would work with them just a little bit with like Connie, of, okay, what do we say here? And how do we say, like, really looking at the language and the process of the customer's journey and turning up the closing, because it can just be minor tweaks, right, Connie? Where you make some tweaks in what you're saying and how you're presenting, that can really turn that on. So what would you say is the number one pitfall that people have in sales? I know I didn't prep you with any of this, but I feel like you're such a genius at this that
something to say always.
Yes. Well, then you just know what this. This is,
you cracked me up.
This is your love.
So yeah, I think the biggest thing, and it's funny, I just had a conversation with someone about an hour ago. We can't get out of our own way. And then what I mean by that is we're in our own head. And this individual just raised her prices with the new year. And it was like distress for her. And I said, why are you squirming? Your prices are more than fair for your competency. She's been in business about 8 years. She got a degree in what she's doing. So it's not like she's a novice. I said, why are you hesitating as you're speaking to me that you're unsure that you should have raised your prices? Not only should you have, you probably should have gone higher. And she looked at me and I said, you have real estate being taken up in your brain that you don't think you're good enough. You don't think people are going to pay you. You don't think that you're worth it. And I'm telling you, that's coming through loud and clear through your messaging, through your body language, just through her vibration. I felt it so clearly. And she smiled and she goes, you're right. And I said, get rid of that real estate. That's prime real estate in your brain. You want to positive. I am worth it. I deliver. I deliver. I over deliver for my clients. My price point is more than fair. They're the mantras we have to put in our head. So that's where I see the biggest problem. I don't know. What about you? Don't you see the same thing?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Do you work with people to break through some of what's going on there? It sounds like you do. Do you help them with that? Yeah, because that's...
Yeah. Here's the thing. And that's why I rebranded during COVID to changing the sales game, because we need to change what's going on in our head before we can change anything in how we approach sales. And you know, as well as I do, people hear that word sales and they, I meet business owners, they go, it's like the devil incarnate. I hate sales. Why? And they go, because I'm not good at it. Well, why? And then when I start breaking it, do you like talking to your clients? Yeah. Do you like exploring what they need? Yeah. Do you like helping people? Yeah. Then why are you afraid of sales? And as soon as you start to help them shift their paradigm of thinking, the response one of the first thing is mindset that I do. Now, I'm not a mindset expert, but I am a mindset and shifting your own perspective of sales is icky to holy crap, I get to sell and talk to you, have fun with you and help you. Oh, right. That's a whole shift in the paradigm. So we start with that. And then, you know what most of my clients say, Shannon? This sales thing, I'm really good at it. This is the most fun part of my job. Oh my God, why have it? And I just laugh and I go, it's the most fun part of our job is talking to people. And then if you can help them, oh, magic happens, right? But you have to shift, you got to get out of your own head.
That is so powerful. Yeah, what I love about sales, and I had to get through the same thing. I had the same challenge of like thinking about car sales. We've been kind of programmed
Yes, we
that
have.
sales is negative, but what I love is we don't have a limit to our income. The only limit we have is ourselves, right? It's like we have the capacity to build huge containers to expand and build that, and then the opportunity to choose who you want to work with, to really get to know people at a deeper level and serve. To me, sales is service. It's like, how can you
100%.
serve somebody and help them with what's there?
Agree.
So what would if somebody's, I'm just going to ask for a tip that you might have to share. And then I'm going to share about you because I'm so excited about you guys have a chance to work with Connie. You have a chance to connect with her. I know she's got a gift that she's giving people that participate in the 8th Media Magic Boot Camp. So what would be a tip that you could leave somebody with today that maybe is meeting you for the first time and either they're already good at sales and they want to go to the next level? What would you suggest?
Oh, that's a tough one because there's so many, but I think where I see people really drop the ball, and it's a habit, right? It's like anything else. It's the follow-up. We all know how to follow up, email, texting, whatever your platform is, right? We know how to follow up. We don't follow up. So I think the statistic, and let me try to get this out of the brain molecules in my head here. 1% of successful businesses and the most successful salespeople follow up. And now I think the timing is 13 to 18 touches. A touch can include face-to-face, a networking, an email, a social media post, a free gift that they got from you. Could be a number of things, but you need to do that touch of 15 to 18 times because there's too much noise out there, period. And we're all connected way too much so that until we see your name that 13th, 14th time. And then they're like, oh, who's this chick? She keeps showing up in I've heard about her. Oh, I remember seeing her last year. What's she up to now? They need to see you 15 to 18 times. Years ago, it was 5 times. So think about that because of just the demands on us. And we're always, right? We're always connected with our phones.
Notifications and yes.
It's terrible. So we humans, we have a 6-second attention span. If we're not following up, the client or the prospect doesn't even have a chance to get to know us. So that's the biggest one. Really come up with, and you have to determine, is your follow-up weekly after somebody connects with you? Is it 2 weeks? Is it tomorrow? Everybody's a little bit different, but what is your process? Live it, breathe it, and use it. And I think that's the most, and we have the technology. There's no reason to not have
automation.
There's no reason. Years ago, Shannon, I'll make you laugh. 40 years ago, when I started in sales, we didn't even have computers. Yes, I'm that old. People go, what? Would I say that? But I used Pentaflex in my file cabinet in my drawer, and I had a 1 through 30 or 1 through 31, and January through December. And on January, I would put them in the day I was supposed to follow up with them. It was all manual. There's no excuse to not follow up now with the automation we have. No excuse.
That's amazing. It's so funny that I went to a speaker, many of you probably heard of him, T. Harv Eker, and I remember I had something that I wanted to implement new in sales. I knew it, but I was so stuck on, I needed the technology and I needed to be, I knew what I needed to do. But I wasn't doing it. And so for like 2 or 3 years, I decided not to. And I went and saw T. Harv Eker, and he was telling us, Connie, from the stage of how he sometimes sells things that he doesn't have in place. Yeah. And he goes, I will get in front of somebody, and if I find a way that I can serve them or help them or in front of an audience, I'll just sell it, right? And he said that his team, like one time he sold let's say 5 million from the stage, and his team was like, wow, we don't have this, we don't have that. And he's like, I just brought in $1.5 million. Do you think we're going to figure it out? And how we get hung up. Like, I love that you said technology is a tool and it makes it so easy and it's absolute. But I also know that with language and with, with things like we can make sales instantly. So I came home from that event. I activated it manually. And I have to tell you, my revenue increased like 33% just from implementing that one new product and sales strategy and not letting technology and letting other things get in the way.
It's so funny. I have corporate clients and then I have my private clients, and my corporate clients, they get to know you and they get to see the deliverables and the results and all of those things. So inevitably I'll go in with one department, let's say in a company, and then other people get wind. Who's this chick? Who is she? They're getting better sales results? What are they doing? And so then they start talking, and it ends up that I end up working with the entire organization, build the culture. And it's my favorite thing is people come up to me. So Con, we're doing the budget for next year. These are some of the topics. Can you do them? Or, because they trust me, or do you have someone that you can bring in? Well, 90% of the time, it's stuff that I can do. And I go, yeah, I have that created. I don't have it created. I go, yeah, of course I could do that for you. But they're asking for it. I know I can deliver it. It's in my wheelhouse of expertise. I don't say yes to stuff I can't do. Yeah. Or I say, I don't do that, but I have the perfect person. And then they make the sale because they already trust me. And anybody I refer or bring to the table, they make the sale. So again, it's that no like trust factor. I think we can underestimate it, but on the same token, sell it before you create it. Always, always, always.
Yes. Yeah. That's kind of like, I have another friend who created something, spent all this time, and it was, I'm going to just tell a little horror. They built everything around the whole Wizard of Oz story. And then I guess there's some history around Wizard of Oz. And when they launched it, Connie, they got so much hate. And I mean, it was just, I don't know if you know that. I didn't know. I learned so much from this individual, and I was with them as they were creating it. And I love the Wizard of Oz. I'm like, oh, this is cool. This makes sense. And built the product and the services all around the story. And then when they launched, it was the opposite. So what you're saying is sell it beforehand. It's kind of like testing it, right? Just to make sure that it's a good.
And I want to go back to what you said. If you have the income coming in, it's very easy to create, especially if it's your zone of genius. Like in a weekend, I could create a program, because if you really need that, and I know it's my zone of now I have to figure out, how do I deliver it so that you can learn it, execute, and then get the results on the back end? That's my job when I create a program. But if I know you ask me for something, I think I could totally help you with that. Oh my God, it's easy. Then I just have to sit down and figure it out. But between now you have money coming in, you can hire someone. Like if I don't have time to create the graphics, I have my VA do it. I pay her overtime to do that. So when you have the income coming in, you made the sale. If they need it, more are going to need it. And now here's the other thing. While you're delivering it, you create it as you go. Now you can really customize it, but ask the person questions. How did that land for you? Did that make sense? Was it easy to execute? Do you feel like I got more from the conversation from you than the homework assignment, whatever. Then you know what you need to go back in and tweak after you do that program live with 1, 2, 5 clients, whatever it is. So you got to play the game, but make sure it's in your wheelhouse. Don't say, yeah, I could do that for you. Because then you're shooting yourself in the foot, and you're not going to be successful. And you think, oh, stop chasing the money and stay in your lane with your zone of genius, and bring other people in that can do it, because then they'll refer back to you. So it's that law of reciprocity, right? We connect, and then we could refer to each other as well.
Awesome. Well, just getting back to what I was saying in the beginning is, and those of you that are listening, if you are having a hard time closing sales, you are meeting people and it's not converting, definitely this is the time to really look at how to amp those, shift the sales, shift the language, look at the process. Connie, it sounds like you do custom. I mean, to me, it's like all of it's custom, right?
Everything we do should be custom.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Is it like people go, oh, she's going to be more expensive? No, I call it my pantry. I go in my pantry and I meet Shannon, and I say, oh, she needs that from that program. She needs this piece from that it's already created in my pantry. All I have to do is reconfigure it for Shannon. So everything you offer should be customized. Again, just create within your wheelhouse or your zone of genius, knowledge, whatever. But typically we already have the assets created. Sometimes it's just repackaging it for that person, and you'll make more sales and you'll get more raving reviews, and they're going to refer people because I don't care who you are. No two people are the same. My corporate clients, no two corporations are the same. So I go in and they say, what do you got? I go, I have a lot of stuff. What do you need? That's a whole different question. Let's figure that out. And then I could give you a proposal. So it's always my stuff is always being manipulated. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I repackage it so that the person gets exactly what they need.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Meet people where they are. I guess that's the message, right? Meet people where they are, not where you think they should be. So again, that holds judgment as well, which is a good thing.
Awesome. Well, I know that this is your first year at the Media Magic Bootcamp. I'm so thrilled for you to be there. Those of you that are watching, I'm just going to share. If you go to MediaMagicBootcamp.com, you can look at the agenda. What makes this event so unique is that this is not a lecture and learn. This is a get stuff done. I have this little, I did a survey one time, Connie, of how do you know Shannon? I don't know if you've ever done those branding where people say, ask people how they know you. Somebody actually called me the get shit done girl. The get stuff done girl. This whole event is about that. And so the minute you sign up, you get our expert power bio system. When you show up, you have mentors like Connie where you can go, hey, Connie, look at my elevator pitch. Hey, Connie, look at my, the power bio. You get into breakout rooms, you get to work together. Last year, we had almost 90 attendees. And the feedback that we got is how this 2-day event works is you get to know almost everybody. A lot of people get clients and sales that are there. And you also can have the opportunity as a VIP or an elite to have lunch with Connie directly where she can, you can say, look at my website, or what do you think of my sales process? And so I'm so excited and honored to have you in there. One of the things I told Connie is we have marketing and sales, and I talk a little bit about sales, but to have a sales expert,
it's different. I could talk to the marketing and I could tell you your marketing messaging is off, but I'm not a copywriter. I'm not a web designer, right? I'm not a social media expert. So see, that's the other thing. See, Shannon, stay in your lane. I can tell you there's a problem and I can introduce you to Shannon. Right. If you need help with the PR and that kind of stuff, not my zone of genius, but yes, I'm going to just share with you the reason I agreed, because I am really busy. I'm knocking on wood as I say that, but the reason I agreed to be part of your community, I loved you when I met you for the first time. I forget who introduced us. We looked it up last time. It doesn't matter. But I was excited the first time I met you. I thought she's my people. She fires fast. She gets bleep done. And if we're going to teach and show people stuff, now do it. Because they go, oh, that's great information. If you do nothing with that information, it's just information. It's not helping you. So it's about, okay, you've learned it. Now do it. Show me what you got. Let's reiterate it. Let's revamp it. Let's talk about it. What do you think? That didn't make sense. How did that feel? Live and in the moment. At the end of the weekend, you're going to walk away with tangible assets that now you can use in your conversations, communication, right? Use in your conversations, your advertising, whatever it might be. So I love the get it done. And that's why I agreed to be part of your program.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I'm super thrilled. January 19th and 20th, MediaMagicBootcamp.com. Please go check it out if you want to learn more. If you have questions, you go to meetshannon.com. Connie, how would they meetshannon.com? Sorry, let me finish the sentence. You can connect on all the social media. You can text all of the information there if you have individual questions about that. Connie, how would somebody reach you, and any closing remarks?
So if you want to reach me, obviously I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn, on LinkedIn a lot. With that said, if you're not, no big deal. Email me. It's Connie@changingthesalesgame.com, and it's sales plural game. So Connie@changingthesalesgame.com. I respond within 24 hours personally. I do not have someone who manages my email. For me, that's another venue for communicating. And I always want to be the one responding specifically. So that's how they can reach me. And what was the other question? Last tip?
Any closing remarks?
Come and play with us. Come and have fun, learn, get bleep done, and you get to play with Shannon and I. Doesn't get any better than that. Come on.
I like you said bleep. I'm going to add that. Get bleep done, because sometimes I'm like whispering and so.
We all know what we're saying.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you. And if you're not able to join us and you want to connect with Connie, I mean, the big piece is if you have a business, you're in sales. At the end of the day, if you have a business, you're in sales. So having a coach, having a guide, having a mentor, somebody to help you increase that is such a powerful tool. So changingthesalesgame.com, is that correct, Connie?
Yep. Changingthesalesgame.com. Yep.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. And we hope to see you next week at the Media Magic booth.